This video will demonstrate how to complete the Excel version of the match documentation form for the People's Garden Project grant. So your conservation district will provide you with two versions of the match documentation form. One will be an Excel spreadsheet and the other one will be a Word doc. So you can choose whichever one you wish to fill out, whichever one you feel more comfortable with. This video is going to go through the Excel spreadsheet version of it. And so when you open it up, it should look something like this. And you want to start by filling in your title of your project and then the date range for the in-kind match. In Excel spreadsheets, again, to fill in a cell, you want to click on that cell first. So you'll want to click on this cell to the right of People's Garden Project, and this is where you'll type in your name, so Community Garden Expansion Project. And then underneath that, in the cell below, we can put in the date range. So we'll say this date range is that. And so then underneath that, there will be a few different tables. So this first table is going to be your in-kind match. An in-kind match is going to be whatever labor is put into the project, whether that's staff time from an organization or volunteer time from community members. The second table is going to be the cash match, which is where you'll record any additional purchases for the project, but these are things that aren't covered in your project budget. So these are just additional things to support the project. And then finally is going to be the total match. And because this is an Excel spreadsheet, the total match will be updating as you update your tables. So that's one of the neat features of an Excel spreadsheet, is that things can be programmed to kind of automatically update as you go. So we'll start by filling out the in-kind match table. This first column is where you'll fill in the name of the person or the people who are working on the project. So let's say we have someone, Jane Doe. In the second column is where you'll describe the task or the tasks that they're doing as part of the project. So maybe this person did project planning and they purchased materials. And then in the next column is where you'll put in the date range, the date or the date range. So let's say all of this work happened on May 3rd. The column next to it will be hours spent, so you'll put in the number of hours. And then this fifth column is the value time per hour. So if this is a staff member for your organization, this is where you'll put in their hourly wage. If this is a volunteer, you can scroll up and see that volunteer work is valued at $28.54 per hour. So let's say Jane is a volunteer, so we'll put in $28.54. And then you can see in this last column, the in-kind match amount, it automatically updates once you put in the number of hours spent and then the value time per hour. So this column automatically updates, this last column automatically updates as you fill in the table. So let's say we have another in-kind match, we have some more volunteers. And again, you can put multiple people in one row. And then let's, again, describe their task. So they were clearing and preparing area for raised beds. And then in this case, let's say these volunteers worked over a period of time, right? So it wasn't, they had a weekly shift. So you can also put in a date range. And then you'll want to put the total hours spent. So let's say each person put in 10 hours of work. So you'll want to put in 20 hours total, since it's two people, 10 hours each, 20 hours total. And again, these are volunteers, so we'll put in the value time per hour as $28.54. And again, you can see this final column automatically populates with the total in-kind match. And down here, you can also see the sum of the in-kind match is also automatically updating as you go. And so you can continue filling out this table as much as you need. if you find you're running out of space, you can click on a row, and if you right click it, you should then be given the option to add a row above or below, and that should help you or give you more space if you need more space to fill out the table. So then we'll then fill in the cash match table, which is the second one. And again, this is where you'll put in expenses or items you purchased to support the project, but again, these are not covered through your project funding. So in this case, let's say some garden books were purchased. You can put in the date. So let's say they were purchased on the 12th. You want to write a short description as far as like the purpose of this purchase, like why you bought it and how it relates to the project. So let's say these garden books were purchased by a partner organization for a community library of resources. If you find that this is starting to, if you write your purpose and it starts to bleed into the other cells, and it doesn't stay within its own cell, you can go up to your top toolbar and you want to look for something called text wrapping, and you'll want to click that drop down arrow and you want to click wrap. So if you click wrap text, it'll then start to fit it into the singular cell just by moving it down. And so that should solve that problem. For these expenses, you also want to then provide documentation of the purchase. So you'll want to attach a copy of receipt or maybe an invoice, whatever you have available. And then this final column is where you'll put in the amount of the cash match or the item itself. So let's say this was $100. And then again, because it's an Excel spreadsheet, you can see the sum of the cash match is automatically updating. And again, if you were to continue populating this last column, that sum would continue to change. So that does it for you automatically. And then underneath here in this third table is where you'll see the total match. And you can see that, again, this is also automatically updating based on the tables above as they automatically update. And so if you had a cash match and you need to attach a copy of the receipt, you can click below this table. You can click insert. You want to insert an image over the cells. And once you attach a copy of the receipt for your cash match, this spreadsheet is now ready to submit to your conservation district.